So for today's science video, we're going to be learning about the scientific method and how we use science in everyday life. What is science? Science is the process of asking questions and using experiments to find answers. Science is an attempt to understand the world we live in. It tries to find general principles to explain why things are, they are, and why things happen the way they do. What is at the heart of science? What is the main thing of science which is asking questions like what, why, how, when, and where. Progress in science depends on people who not only wonder how the world works, but who also take the time to develop questions that can be tested and answered. What is a scientist? Scientist is someone who investigates to solve a problem. Do you see yourself as a scientist? Well, we can all be scientists and we all are scientists because we solve problems just the way scientists do. We ask questions about everyday life and we attempt to find answers to those questions. A really famous scientist called Sir Alexander Fleming, and he's popular due to his ability to ask questions and to seek answers to those questions, which led to the discovery of one of the most important medical breakthroughs in history. These are some important scientific terms. Observations, which is information that is collected with any of the senses. Instruments can enhance your senses. So any information you could gather by sight, smell, touch, taste, or hearing. And evidence, support for the idea that something is true. An inference. What is an inference? An inference is a conclusion or deduction based on observations. Assumptions. What is an assumption? A statement that you believe to be true but cannot be proven. All scientists should not make assumptions. And opinions. What is an opinion? Ideas people have that may or may not be true. Opinions are often based and should not be included in science. What are the differences between observation and inferences? Well, for an observation is something that can be true, something that you can prove to be true, and an inference is something that you assume, such as object A is round and orange. You can see that object A, which is a ball, is round and it is the color orange. So that would be an observation. Object A is a basketball. You could see that it's a basketball, so that would also be an observation. Object C is round and black and white. Object C is a soccer ball, which you can see that with the black and white. And so that would be an observation. Object C is larger than object B. But here you can see that the ball seems to be smaller, but can't really prove it since we do not know if these are to scale. So that would be an inference. Object B is smooth. With this image, we can't touch or feel the object, so we can't prove anything to say that the object B is true. So that would be an inference. Object B is a table tennis ball. So that would be an observation. How do scientists solve problems? Scientists solve problems with the scientific method, which is a process that is used to logically solve problems. Scientific method includes asking a problem, which is asking questions, which is the first step to the scientific method. Once you have your problem, you want to make observations and research. So you try to find evidence and research to help you move on forward with your problem. Then, with your observation and research, you want to create a hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? It's an educated guess on what you think will happen in the experiment, which is the next step. So you will do the experiment based off your hypothesis and collect data, which are the results, and using the data and results, you will make a conclusion, and the conclusion is the final answer, and it should be similar to your hypothesis. And that's all for today. Today we learned about the scientific method, definitions, important scientific vocabulary, and what a scientist is.